Chapter 1, Episode 3. This may be a two-part series, we're going to see. It really just depends on how long this starts to go. Because if you've noticed anything in my tutorials, I sometimes tend to ramble. Alright, but in this episode, we're going to be importing 3D models and textures into our JRPG project. If you've ever had weird scaling or broken materials while you importing assets, then you are definitely in the right place. So what we're going to do first is I'm going to go over the assets. Where are they? There they are. Alright, so klusberg.itch.io, that's where I got these assets from. They make a lot of assets for everybody. Most of them are just free. They're on a name your own price scale. So if you're low on funds, then you can use these still and really make some great stuff out of them. If you can afford to, definitely support the creatives, because without you guys' help, they're not going to be able to do this all the time, right? This allows, as you can see here, they got a Patreon. And for example, on one of the ones we're going to import today, this dungeon pack, it's a name your own price. So you just go to it, you press download now, and then if you can afford, go for it. And if you pump in a little extra, right, you can get, so for example, if I put $12, you can see that you get the whole source material right there, right? And then you also, if you would just put in 8, then whoops, not 128, $8, you get this little extra bit, right? Or if you can't afford it, you can just say no thanks, take me to the downloads, and you'll get the free one. Okay, now with their assets downloaded, I have a few things that we need to do to it. Okay, what we're gonna do is we're gonna put might help if I opened it up. Let's go to our folder. Alright, here's our folder. We got our adventures here. We have our character right here. There's 2 files in it. There's the FBX and the GLTF. We want these GLTF files, okay? I'm just gonna drag in for now the barbarian. So I'm gonna go ahead and drag him in. Okay, I'm going to also go to textures and drag in the barbarian texture. You notice I'm not going all the way down here to the folder. You really don't have to in Godot. That's one of the things I like versus Unity. I do love Unity. I like using Unity. I like using Unreal. I like using Godot. But Godot, you don't have to go all the way to the project and hover over it and wait for it to highlight. All you gotta do is just click on it and then drag the assets anywhere into the project. So like for the environment, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put in our dungeons folder. So actually I'm going to create a folder in here and I'm going to name it dungeons dungeon. All right, and I'm going to, in this drop down, I'm going to click on the dungeon folder. I'm going to go back to our RPG folder and this dungeon remastered, these assets right here. And we have, if you click on it, you have all these assets right here. You can go ahead and just Control A to select them all. I'm just going to take all, it says 423, cut that number in about half, and you're going to get what's actually going to be imported. A lot of these are like data files and stuff that's needed to go with them because of the type of files they are. We're going to go ahead and just put our mouse right here, barely in our viewport, and then let go. And you're going to see eventually, there we go, it's just importing right away. And if you look here, you can see it's moving kind of fast, but it's only actually importing the GLTF files. and it goes really fast. So let's go ahead and click on textures next. We're going to go ahead and add in our dungeon textures. Alright, now let's go ahead and check a few things first, right? What we need to do is I'm going to click on dungeon, and I'm actually going to select all of these files that were just imported. We're going to go to this import, and we just want to check a few things. We want to make sure that our root type is set to node 3D. And then let's see, apply root scale is fine. All those in the mesh are fine. The animation stuff is fine. Naming version, yeah, 4.2 or later is fine. Extract textures, yep, that's fine too. Alright, so then we're going to press re-import. It's going to go through the process again, and that's going to get those set up and ready to be used. Alright, now let's go up to our barbarian, and we're gonna do the same thing. So we're gonna come up here. Actually no, with the barbarian, we're gonna actually try doing something a little different. We want it to be a character body 3D, not a node 3D. And then re-import that. And let's double click our barbarian, make sure that worked. Let's drag our barbarian into our scene, and there we go, that works out. Alright, that's what we need. The reason we want it as a character body is because when we start adding scripts and stuff to it, it's going to make things so much simpler and so much easier. So, but that's good, we're good, that's perfect. Alright, now let's go ahead and just test our floors real quick. We'll go with this large floor right here, and all the textures are there. Perfect. Everything is good. It looks like there was something that looks like there was already a dungeon texture mixed in with them, so that's fine. It's not going to cause any issues. It's just, you're just going to see it. As if you want, you can just delete this one in the textures and then move that one down. But it looks like they might actually be linked to it, so I don't know if moving's gonna mess things up. So you might want to just leave it, just to be on the safe side. It shouldn't mess with it. I guess I'll test it right here. So let's see. I will delete this one and move this one. I passed it. There it is. Let's go ahead and move it down. Let's put our wall in. Nope, it didn't mess with it. There you go. So you can just delete the one you imported earlier and just drag that one down into your textures, and it's still mapped to it, so everything is good there. Alright. We're coming up on a little past 9 minutes, so I'm trying to see if there's anything is there anything in the imports we need to talk about else? I want to make sure that we're good and that I'm not leaving you guys with any questions. I think everything else is good for right now. You can change the scale if you need to, the root scale, if your assets end up importing like way too big. But K's assets are actually a relatively decent size for what we're going to be doing, so I'm not going to mess with the scaling or orientation issue with it. There's no material issues with it, so we should be good there. The animations, Let's go ahead and check the animations, I guess, real quick with our barbarian. Alright, so let's see. You got the meshes, got the materials, actions. Let's see. I guess I'll just create a new scene with them. Let's see here. And then we're gonna say open anyway. Click on barbarian. Alright, there's the animation player. Looks like the animations imported nicely, so that's perfect there. No need to worry about that. Alright, so now you've got your 3D assets in Godot. The materials are good, the scales are good, the animation for the barbarian works. Now we're ready to start building out our first little dungeon room. And that's exactly what we're going to do in part 2 of episode 3. So go ahead and drop your favorite 3D asset sources in the comments below, and I'll link mine too in responses. Next time we'll lay down tiles and build a small grid-based world to walk around in. Until then, keep learning, keep building. I'll see you then.